Hi guys, I'm super excited because I will be chatting with Lacy today all about branding and photography and social strategy during this very complicated time. So I'm just hanging tight and waiting for her to join. So excited for this chat today. I have not seen Lacy in years, but we are old college friends. And so it's going to be a lot of fun chatting with her today. And here she is. I'm going to have her come on. And we're going live with Lacy in just a second. Hey, Sam, I see you just joined in. Hey, Kurt. And Lacy should be on in just a sec. Lacy, if you don't connect, send me another request to connect because sometimes it takes a minute to get it rolling. Just waiting for Lacy to send me one more request. Okay, I see that you just joined. There we go, viewing the request. And this should work. Says we're just waiting. Here we go.
There we go. Hey,
how are you?
doing well. How are you?
I'm good. It is like a hot, humid day here in upstate New York. It's kind of like New Orleans.
I was gonna say that's pretty much every day here in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's just hot.
I haven't seen you in ages. This is so fun to reconnect.
I know it's been forever.
It's been over a decade, but here we are. I love it.
Yes.
I love that life comes full circle sometimes. It's the best.
Agreed. That's one of the best things about Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that is that you can always catch back up and reconnect. Yeah.
Yes. So for anyone who's just joining in, I'm going to give a little introduction and introduce Lacy. I'm so excited to have her on SB Loves today. So as I mentioned, we go way back to being college friends a lifetime ago at this point. And like many entrepreneurs, she started her business from scratch from the very beginning and decided to launch a photography and personal branding business after studying studio art at NYU. So she is not only a photo expert, but a social media strategist and branding expert too. And so as we chat today, we're going to get all of her insight on how to navigate this very unusual time, but also pick up a lot of amazing tips on how we can pivot our businesses and make the most of what we've got in front of us. So thanks again. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Me too. So tell me, how have you been spending your time and what are you working on these days?
Oh goodness. We well, at the beginning of COVID, we did a huge pivot. We put together some new packages for the branding photography business. And then I also launched a new company, About Town Social, that's all about making locally curated content available for folks who want to get online and do content marketing and connect with people in the area. So I've been working a lot. I've been doing a lot of cultural photography, which is something that I haven't done in years. And I've also been literally starting a new business, which is crazy because that's something else that I really haven't done in years. So
maybe to a real entrepreneur to launch a second business during the time when most of our initial businesses are like, oh my God, what are we going to do with this? And then here out you come with a whole second business during this COVID time. That's unbelievable.
Thank you. It had been kind of in the wheelhouse for a while, but I kept pushing it off like, oh, I don't have time. I have all this other stuff to do. Well, suddenly had lots of time. So
yes, that is one of the blessings, I guess,
yeah,
of this whole situation.
definitely.
So how are you staying motivated to get things done right now with so much on your plate?
For me personally, motivation a lot of the times comes from within. I read scriptures a lot, I pray a lot, and I have some days I can't even lie to you when I can't find that motivation. You know what I mean? I'm a true creative. I'll say that. I'm an artist. So there are days when it's just not there. And on those days, I give myself grace and I go get a snowball or I go for a walk, I go for a run. But otherwise, it's been definitely keeping with scriptures and prayer. It's been exercising. I wake up every day. I try to do every day. I'm not going to lie. I skip a few.
It's okay. We won't hold it against you.
You know, yeah. But that's pretty much been it, is finding little peaks of normalcy, whether it's the video chat with my friends or waking up, doing that workout, getting into the shower and getting dressed to get started. But it's really been, more than anything, it's been internal. It's been kind of saying, okay, Lacy, this is a time when a lot of stuff is happening. Some of it isn't the best, but life will go on. right?
Yeah,
And at some point, you will need to be able to go on and to reopen full scale. And you can't do that if no one has seen you in months and you now have no
that's
clients.
true.
So that's kind of been the motivator.
That's totally true. We can't go into hiding right now. More than ever, we need to stay visible so that our businesses can be found and our services can be found. So, on that note, I know that photography and branding relies on a lot of in-person interaction, which obviously we can't do much of these days. So,
Right.
how are you taking that challenge and sort of redefining what you have to offer so that you can stay in everyone's forefront and also be providing of your services to them?
So we've had to get super creative. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. So Zoom has become my best friend. One of the big things that kind of sets my photography company apart is that, as you said, we don't just do photography, we do strategy. So we're not just taking photos where you look pretty, we're telling you how you're going to use them. Here's what you can post, here's what you can put out. So that involves a lot of meetings. It used to be a lot of fun lunches. Let's go to Effervescence and grab a champagne. Now it's, BYOB and meet me on Zoom. So I've been interacting with a lot of people that way. And then in addition, just doing the socially distant shoots. Like I've been telling people, one of the great things about the time that we're in right now is that a lot of people are getting out into nature more. You know what I mean? No one expects you to be at your office. No
Right.
one expects you to be at your boutique because we're not supposed to be doing that. So let's go outside, let's take these plein air shots, and let's figure out ways that we're going to make those work. So we've been shooting in a socially distant way. And then for the other part of brand photography, for some people, it's product photography. We allow you to mail us the items, we shoot them for you, and we send it all to you. So in other words, a lot of things that used to be done in person are now being done digitally. So that's a big one. And then with the sessions, instead of us being in a space together in your office together, we're taking it outside. And I mean, we've also had to get creative a few times and do stuff like, okay, you be in your office, I'm going to stand on the porch and shoot through this window.
Thank God
But
for
we're
that
going to
Zoom
get the shot.
mechanism.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's funny. I've heard actually a few people say that, and this is a terrible joke, but that coronavirus is sponsored by Zoom.
It's true.
Because it's like everybody is using Zoom as the tool now for connecting. And,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great that we have FaceTime and Instagram Live and House Party and all these different ways
Yeah.
to stay in touch with each other. But it's funny how you kind of have to use what's in front of you all of a sudden and be like,
Yeah.
all right, we gotta get a branding session out of this.
Yeah.
So on that note, of course, social engagements are way, way up. I've heard 30%, 50%, 60%. So more people than ever are online right now.
Yeah.
Because we can't be doing anything else. But so on one hand, there's so much to see and absorb, and it's very noisy and crowded, but it's also an amazing opportunity for your brand to really shine. So with that in mind, how do you suggest that your clients use their digital platforms right now to leverage their brand and get more exposure and take advantage of this situation?
Great. So that's kind of a multifaceted question, but let's dive in on it. So it's not a joke. Everyone's online right now. Like the amount of content that people are gobbling up right now is insane. A lot of my product-based customers are selling insane amounts of stuff because what do you do when you're bored? You buy stuff, be it on Amazon or from the local person down the street. So there is so much out there right now. So ways to kind of stay to the forefront. One of them is to remember that social media is social. And what that means is that sadly for some of us, you can't just post that photo every day or every week or however often you're doing it and walk away. No, you kind of have to get in there. You have to go comment on other people's stuff, talk to people, take people's little polls in their stories, because what that does is makes people say, huh, I wonder what Lacy's doing. Let me go check it out and see. And then they get to see your content. The other way is keeping fresh content. No one, especially for a business, you don't want to be doing the hard sell with people right now necessarily. So that means you don't want a feed that's full of flyers. You don't want a feed that's full of buy this, buy that. You really want to be using this time to connect with people and to get them to know, like, and trust you, so that be it now or at a later date, you can bring the sales in. And then last but not least, I've been advising all of my clients to really, really get into your stories. It's your own personal way to connect with everyone. It puts that little bubble up at the top of the screen so that as soon as I open Instagram, I see you right there and it's something that I can click on. When you're in your stories, even if it seems silly, throw a poll in there, throw a slider in there, do something for folks to engage with, because the algorithm is going to show you to more people if people are engaging with you. It's like a catch-22, right? Like you want people to engage with you, but more people are going to engage with you when people engage with you. So,
So true.
yeah, it's like running in that little hamster wheel. But that's pretty much what I've been telling people. Stay relevant, stay in people's faces, and just make sure that you're being social and putting stuff out there.
I love that tip because I think so many people use social media and they'll post something and walk away.
Yep.
And that's like half the battle. You know,
Right.
that's like stepping in with one foot and not the other foot. Like you also have to engage back. And I even just read a tip the other day that was so interesting. It's like, so our content is only showed to people who are repeatedly interacting with us.
Yep.
So every now and then I heard it's a great idea to go through your followers list and see who is not engaging with you, because if they haven't engaged, it's probably because they haven't even seen you.
Yeah.
And so you can actually just go and like something of theirs or ask them a question, and then your content will start to repopulate in their feed, which, you know, there's so many tips and tricks, and we can all blame the algorithm, you know, for not having so much social success. But at the end of the day, you're totally right. It's just about the engagement and what we put into it.
It is like it doesn't like arrive for you there on a silver platter as much as we, you know, it's kind of like you want to get slim or you want to get a six pack. You don't just buy the protein powder. You know what I mean? Like you have, right? Right. If anyone has a magic pill or a magic shake, just
let us know.
Drop that in the comments below. We're into that. But from what we know, it doesn't exist. And marketing is the same way. No matter what kind of marketing you're engaging in, you're gonna do some work for it. And social media is no different. But yeah, that's a great tip, is to go in, comment on folks who you haven't engaged with in a while, but also go through your followers. If you see someone on there who hasn't been online since, I don't know, December of 2017, that's a dead account. And it could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe they started the account with all the good intentions in the world, it didn't work out, and now they're not doing anything with it. Maybe that boutique you followed that was really cool is now closed. Maybe it was a bot follower to begin with. But people never think to shut down their social media accounts. So when I did this recently, I went through, it hurts, I'm not gonna lie, to watch your followers just drop, to watch those numbers. But what happens is you get rid of things that aren't engaging with you because they don't exist. So that flips your ratio to where you have more people who are engaging with you, and the algorithm likes it better. So even though you have less followers, more people are going to see your stuff.
So smart. It's like a spring cleaning. You know, we spring clean our closets, and we've got to spring clean our Instagram accounts too.
We have to. Yes. Yes. So, it hurts though. Like I said, don't be surprised if you watch those numbers drop if you shed a single thug tear. But
okay, you'll get more in the end, you know, you'll get more.
Exactly.
So on that note, I know that you work with entrepreneurs from all different business backgrounds, and I'm sure you've heard the struggles of your community right now with what's happening. Yeah. So what advice do you have for entrepreneurs who don't really know how to pivot? You know, they don't know what to do in this time.
So it's so funny. Ever since, again, everything started happening, I've had different things that I've said. A pivot is an interesting thing, right? Like when we're kids, you don't think twice about saying, I'm going to pick up this soccer ball and try it, because you don't know what you're good at and you don't know what's going to work out and what's not. Somewhere along the way, you learn that you're not good at soccer. And it's a good thing in some respects, but in some, it limits you from trying things that are like soccer, right?
Right.
So a pivot is basically, I'm sorry, let me answer this really quickly. We have a question here.
Yeah.
Do you block them? How do you get them to unfollow? You don't block them. There's 3 little dots next to each follower. And if you click the 3 little dots, you can just press remove or remove follower. I'm not exactly sure what it says, but it pretty much removes them from following you. Now, before you do it, make sure that if you're following them, you unfollow them so that it doesn't like flip your numbers wrong. But that's what it is. You just press remove follower. So you don't have to block them or anything. You just remove them they basically, you kick them off of your followers list. You tell them that they can't sit with you. Um, so back to the question at hand, the pivot. So a pivot involves really saying to yourself, what is something that I don't do every day that may or may not have something to do with what I do every day, but that I could do now in a crazy time? I advise folks to sit down, make a list of things that you like to do, maybe things that you're really good at, but you never thought you could make a living out of, maybe things that go with something that you're already doing, and then y'all stick that toe in the water and jump your entire body in and just try it. You never know what's going to work until you do. I've seen things like me, a photographer, has now pivoted to a monthly service where people can just buy my photographs because maybe you are very uncomfortable being photographed in person. I get it. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be online. I've seen a makeup artist who's going to be doing product sales now of lashes and skin tea. I've seen a nail tech who is buying the fake nails, decorating them like she would at the nail salon, and selling those to her clients for now. But then I've also seen a friend who's an event planner. Well, there's no events right now to plan. So what did she do? She started an online cooking show because she loves cooking. So why not?
Or you have friends who are wardrobe stylists and can't get into the closet, so they're doing Instagram live series to stay
exactly. And so that's the thing. It's just a matter of like, it's gonna be uncomfortable. A pivot is uncomfortable. Like, but what was comfortable the first time you did it? Like, tell me, Sam, the first time that you opened up your sample shop where I bought fabulous sunglasses in college, did you say to yourself, I'm gonna be awesome at this, everyone's gonna buy my stuff? No. But you tried it, and now here you are.
You have to try it, and you fail all the time in the beginning, and you fail all the time in the middle, and you fail all the time at the end.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have big wins and successes, and so this time has just reframed basically everything that we know, everything we've done before. But I love the idea of thinking of a pivot as just taking a chance. You just have to put yourself out there and give it a
faith.
So speaking of chances, I've seen, and this has really blown me away that photographers are doing this. Even for publications like Vogue, the Hadid sisters have been involved in this, Zoom and FaceTime photo shoots.
Yeah.
Which I know for some of my local photographers here, they're like, oh God, I don't want to be doing that. Like, why do I have all this camera equipment? I don't want to do it that way. But it is a new opportunity. So what are your thoughts on photography taking that turn?
So it's super interesting, right? When everything first happened, I was like, oh gosh, am I going to need to do this? In New Orleans, our restrictions have been lifted a little bit to where it's just not necessary. Like, I can actually shoot people now. However, I am going to do a few of them for free for some loyal clients just to see how it is in case we have to go back under, as I like to say. Yeah. But I tell you what, I'm a control freak. I like to control where that camera is, the lighting, where everything is. And so the idea that I can't control that camera is a lot for me personally. Yes. But I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing as far as the direction, because I've said this for years. Sure, part of what you pay for is my camera equipment. Part of what you pay for is that I'm going to show up with lights and make sure that you look nice and make sure that I'm taking high-res photos that can be printed on a billboard. But what's the majority of what a customer buys? They're buying you. So at the end of the day, be it a Zoom photo shoot, be it a FaceTime photo shoot, you're still utilizing my expertise. Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't. Because again, at the end of the day, I don't think that, I mean, like, there have been times when we've shot really cool stuff on phones and everything. I don't think that the digital SLR that I spent thousands of dollars on is going anywhere anytime soon. No. I think that, but why not have other ways to do it, right? Like, remember being in college when we were dead broke and couldn't afford it? What if we had that back then? You know what I mean? So I think it's cool. I'm like, why not? If that's your thing, go for it. For me, it would be something that I might do now, but it would stop immediately, girl. I need to control the camera. I need to control the environment.
To me, it feels a little To me, it feels a little bit like a creative trend, right? So it's like the same way clothing has trends and beauty has trends and everything has trends. We're always making the most of the situation that we're in. So it's like, you know, right now people aren't really getting dressed. So they're all about earrings. They're all about sleeve detail because that's the trend of the moment. But I think with photography, exactly. And I think with photography, it's a similar, you know, thing that's happening with this iPhone photography and FaceTime photography, because we'll probably see that in all the coming publications for the next 2 or 3 months. And then everyone's going to be sick of it and they're going to want to see a different style of something that's a little bit more crafty. And that will definitely change.
I agree.
Yeah. So talking personal style here for a moment, how do you think, because I know that people obviously dress for your photo shoots and we dress for our lives and we dress for our clients and our partners and all of these different things. So how do you think personal style will change going forward? And how does that trickle into the branding and photo sessions? Because it's like, I can imagine that no one's putting on a ball gown right now to get photographed. Maybe they're not even wearing the sequins that they would want to wear. So how do you think that's going to change for the time being?
So just to make sure, you mean like outside of the fact that I'm probably never wearing real pants again, right? That's not what we're talking about right now. No.
Pants are so out for 2020.
Oh, they're out. They're overrated, man. Pants, arched eyebrows, all of it out. So, no, seriously though, I think that especially in a brand photo session, what I tell people is you don't need to go buy anything for a brand photo session. Wear things that are in your closet, unless there's a specific piece that you just really want. Because I'm telling the story of your brand. I'm telling the story of you. This is what we're doing. What I think we're going to see a lot of, both in brand sessions and in people being out and about and stuff, is more clothing that is functional but still stylish. Like, I look at myself. I'm a yoga pants fiend. I talk about it all the time. Yoga pants are my jam. But lately, if I had to go out, like sometimes I'll be in a Zoom meeting and say, oh my gosh, I got to go somewhere. Or even on a phone, right? And I'm like, I'm in these yoga pants. Well, now I've started putting it with stylish earrings and a nice kimono. Very recently, someone was like, what? You didn't plan that outfit? No, I just decided that showing up in actual yoga pants and a workout tank top might be inappropriate. So this outfit is still very functional, because when you're sitting at a desk all day, it can already get rough. I'm not doing it in tight pants. It's not happening. It just isn't. And
I hear you.
So I think we're going to see that. We're going to see people dressing more for function while still trying to make it cute. So whether that's throwing the kimono on, or whether that's throwing on a bright lip, you know what I mean? Because you can rock a tank top and a jean jacket with a bright lip. In brand photo sessions, though, because I advise people to do what they're actually doing, I'm already seeing a lot more people in their workout clothes. And this new trend that I like to call business on the top, party on the bottom. It's like a take on the mullet, except it means that on the top, I look great. On the bottom, I've probably got on like my old cheerleading softy shorts or something. But it sounds silly, but I'm encouraging people, if that's what you're doing, take a photo in it. Why? Because so is everyone else. So in that way, you have just, yes, team no pants, Catherine. So in that way, you have just totally connected with someone who's like, oh my gosh, I too have not worn pants in 3 months. So
and you know, the timing is interesting with it becoming so warm out here, and I'm sure it's even warmer where you are in New Orleans. But
warm is a nice way to put what it is.
And you've got to be comfortable, you know, so even if it's just like a really light summer dress or something, there's still plenty of ways to feel cute and put together without it being a whole situation. Like, I don't even know that I'll sell another client a pair of heels this year.
Right.
Who's even had a shoe on? Like, if anything, wearing slippers, flip-flops, or
fuzzy socks.
Yeah, I mean, who's putting a heel on right now? No one's doing that.
No one.
No one. So no pants, no heels. It's all about what we got happening above,
right there,
the shoulders.
Yep.
So aside from the lasting effects on our wardrobes, what do you think are the lasting effects of this quarantine? I'm so interested to hear, especially because you're in a different state than me, how you think this is going to move forward.
So as far as lasting effects, I think that we're definitely going to see them, right? So there are the ones that aren't so good, right? There's the fact that New Orleans, for example, our major industry is tourism. That's not coming back this year, and that sucks. And it sucks for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
monetarily, you're going to see those kinds of things. You're going to see a few people tightening the belt. I read something that said in New Orleans, this isn't our first rodeo. It's just a different bull. What it's going to look like for a while here is what it looks like after a big hurricane, like
Yeah.
after, people have had to evacuate and they've had to spend that money and stuff like that. But here's what I think the bright side comes in. It's also going to look like, I think lasting effects are also going to include people doing stuff that we just used to not do. I've been on more picnics. I have talked to my friends who live in New York and who live in California a lot more because suddenly it's become more important to me. And I realized that all the things I used to say I didn't have time for, it wasn't that I didn't have time, it was that I wasn't making time and that I wasn't making time for things that were important. Business wise, I think that right now, what a lot of companies are doing, mine included, is digitizing a lot of processes that used to not be done digitally. So, what does that mean? It means that we're moving into a situation where things that used to take a lot more time because they had to be done in person, especially in the South, because we're talkers down South. Like, if you're coming to my office, well, first I've got to offer you a water or a tea, and then we have to talk for a while about the children, and then 30 minutes in we actually start the meeting.
I
So
love it.
being able to do some of that stuff on Zoom cuts out a lot of the fluff, and I hate to put it that way, but now I'm able to do 2 to 3 ordering consultations in the amount of time that it used to take me to do one. So what does that equal, Sam? More money. Kerching, kerching. And for the average business owner, I think they're going to see that. They're going to see that redistributing that time is going to allow them to make more money.
Yeah.
Also, I think that we're going to see a lot of people with better websites, better online presences. It's the things that you didn't have time to concentrate on before that you do have time to concentrate on now. So I think that especially for small businesses, sometimes you're actually running the business, you're doing the things. You don't have time to worry about, well, what's better for me?
Mhm.
HoneyBook, Asana, or something else, but now we've got that. So it's putting stuff into place that's going to help us run more smoothly. And so we don't experience, as small business owners, as much stress and overwhelm because we've put items in place that can be done without us.
So smart. And let's talk about money for a second, because my last SB Loves that I did was with Emily Merrill, who is a business coach. And she
Mm-hmm.
was saying that as small business owners, we all have this instinct right now to give it away for free, to slash our
Mm-hmm.
rate, to say, I know you're going through tough times too. And at the beginning of quarantine, especially, I was promoting packages that are a third of what I would normally be charging, because I'm like, I'm trying to stay alive. I know they're trying to keep it together, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But she actually recommended that we don't do that as small
Right.
business owners, because there's still a value to what you have to offer. It's still a service, and
Right.
it shouldn't be that suddenly you undercut yourself and your experience to try to hustle harder in the
Right.
moment. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know obviously you have different packages and you're very bright. You set up something really for everyone, so you can get involved this much, this much, this much.
Yep.
So what are you doing with your structure right now?
So I'll first say that I agree with her 100%. I'm a big proponent of, if you're going to offer a deal, that deal has to have a certain amount of time. It has to have a reason. And it also has to not include what the full price thing would include. So at the beginning of COVID, I did the same thing. I said, all right, I'm going to do branding sessions for $4.99, but I'm doing them because people need digital content right now. This is not going to be the 8-hour brand session that costs a whole lot more money. But what it is going to do is get you ready to move forward with a content marketing strategy on level one. Now, if when we talked, you had all the big ideas that actually needed the brand photography service that I know how to do, I'm sorry, this is not a good idea for you. And at that time, was it hard to turn down $4.99? Of course it was, because none of us knew what was going to happen. But the problem with discounting or giving things away for free, as your friend was saying, is it devalues your
There you go.
snafu.
There you
The
are.
problem with discounting and giving things for free is that it devalues what you do. At the end of the day, when all of this is over, why on earth would someone say, okay, great, now that I have a little more money, I'm going to go back to paying $2,000 for something that I've gotten accustomed to paying $400 for? No. So I agree with her. If anything, you can make an economy package. I don't think there's any problem with an economy package, but there have to be very valid differences between the economy package and what the person who spends the actual money that you charge will get.
Very smart. Makes total sense.
Thank
And
you.
so let's talk about inspiration. What has been inspiring you while you've been home and diving into these projects?
So a couple of things actually, like I'll say that the first thing has been like really being able to get back out into nature and get out into my city. About Town Social has allowed me to really be a tourist in a place that I've known for my whole life and a place that I love. So being able to do that and to see the artwork that Josh Wingerter has spray painted all over the like, you know, they have those plywood things on windows of the businesses that are closed. Well, he went through and put all this beautiful spray painted artwork on it. He's a pop artist here in New Orleans and it's fabulous. So I've gotten to see that. But as far as personal inspiration, I've really been inspired by folks who are graduating right now. And I know this is going to sound weird, but hear me out. They are walking into something that's always an uncertain time. Like we've both done it, be it high school graduation, college graduation, you don't know what's next.
Yes.
And they're doing it in the middle of a pandemic. So while my heart has gone out to them the whole time, there's also so much inspiration to be found there because for the most part, you don't find them walking around with their heads down. You don't find them frowning and upset. You still find them excited about their next steps and excited about what's happening. And I think that I've gleaned from that no matter what is going on, life is beautiful and it always has something to offer. We never know what's coming. We never know why things are happening. But those kids who are really like yet holding on during something that I think I might have fallen apart during at their age has been a huge inspiration to me.
I love that. I actually just this morning was texting with a girl who interned for me last semester and she's graduating this weekend. And I said to her, what's going on? Are you so excited? And she's like, yeah, I can't wait. Tomorrow is our digital ceremony. And it's like, wow, you know, I'm so proud of her. I'm so excited for them. And
yeah,
I hope that they take this summer to like not freak out.
Yes.
Because graduating
relax.
is so intimidating.
Yeah.
And then, you know, hopefully come the fall, there will be plenty of opportunity for them, if not sooner, to start doing what they've been training for their whole lives. So
exactly.
Definitely a lot of optimism. And so what's on your post-quarantine bucket list? It can be something small, like getting a manicure. It can be something big, like going to Italy. What are the things you're looking forward to the most about getting out and about again?
So, number one, manicure. Number two, the Bayou Wine Garden. My New Orleans people will feel me. I need to be at the wine garden for long periods of time having a ball. And then number three, I'm really looking forward to getting back out to the Northeast and back out to California to see some people that I care about who I am the person. I love traveling. It's fabulous to me. So I will often say, well, I'll go to New York another time. It'll always be there. But right now I'm going to go and do this. Well, I am done with that. I will no longer take for granted that I can get out to see the people I care about anytime. So I'm really looking forward to getting back out to NYC, man, as soon as possible.
It'll be here waiting for you with open arms.
Yes, I miss it.
It misses you. And so what can we look forward to from your two companies over the next, let's say, year? What do you got going on for us?
Well, About Town Social is actually going to go to other markets. So right now we have About Town New Orleans, but it's going to go to some other markets that are close by. Really, the cities that I'm looking for are cities that are like New Orleans, where it's big enough to have a budding entrepreneur community, but not big enough to have great stock photos. Because I tell you, if you go online and you look up stock photography New Orleans, you are finding Mardi Gras, Bourbon Street, and maybe one like lonely alligator. But what you're not finding is things that the New Orleanian considers to be New Orleans. So you can expect to see growth in About Town Social in that way. And with DPG branding, it's going in the exact opposite direction because it's not going to be local anymore. We are full steam ahead with starting to shoot with folks in other communities. So whether that be New York, whether it be California, I believe that I have been given a gift to tell people's stories. And I don't want to just do that here. So you'll be seeing a lot of our ads, a lot of Lacy being out and about, traveling, doing photo shoots. So that, I mean, once I can travel safely again, of course. But that's what's coming for the companies that's coming up. Yeah.
Well, that's so exciting. I am so happy that we had this chat today. I feel extremely inspired to get my social media and marketing materials in order. And everyone, definitely give Lacy a follow. And I will be posting this video both to IGTV and to YouTube so you can catch anything that you missed. And Lacy, it was such a pleasure. I wish I could give you the biggest hug right now.
I know, air hugs, air hugs.
Definitely air hugs. So thank you, and I will see you soon.
All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks, Sam.
Bye.
Bye.